Hi everyone, I am back again. I'm sorry I didn't get to post a video last week, like I said I would, but I lost my dog. Actually, I come home from work and I found him in his bed. And I don't know if any of you have ever heard him coughing, kind of like hacking in the background on a couple of my videos. I know he's on there. And he had congestive heart failure. He was almost 15 years old. He would have been 15 years old on July the 1st. And I guess his little heart just went to sleep. He was very small. He was about, maybe a 4-pound dog. He was very, very tiny. But he lived a good long life, and he's up there with his sister, who passed away in 2008, and he kind of outlived her. She was 11. When we had to put her down. But Toby, he was on his medication and stuff, but I guess it just, you can only, at least he wasn't suffering. Anyway, let's bring some joy now. I don't want to break out in tears. Today I have for you this really gorgeous bracelet. I don't know what I'm going to name it yet. Hopefully by the time I do the video, I'll have a name for it. The colors are pretty dark. I did use dark colors, but it is, it's got a good weight to it. It's very smooth on the wrist, and it fits nice. This is a size 8, and this is what I'm going to make today, is a size 8. I used a cut button, so it moves around your wrist smooth. These pearls here I used purple and green in this bracelet, and silver for a base. But these pearls here are Swarovski iridescent pearl. They're like a purpley in one spot and green on the outside. It's kind of weird how they look, but they fit just perfect with the colors in this bracelet that I chose. So if you want to get some of these purple and greens, I'm using, these are Miyuki seed beads in here, and I can't remember the color I used. They are like a green iris, almost like a green iris. Okay, and the 3mm fire polish that I used is amethyst, and I used a silver coated checkmate bead, and I also used magic color in a Rulla bead. So I'm going to give you a little bit of substitutions in case you don't have all these beads. Don't panic, because you probably will have something that will be feasible to use in this bracelet. So first and foremost, I am using a checkmate bead. These are Czechoslovakian beads, and they're square like a tila bead, but they're much prettier. I love these beads better, and the reason I like these better is because they don't cut my thread like a tila bead does. For some reason, the tila bead is extremely sharp where you put your needle in here, and when you pull your thread, I have broken almost every bracelet I've made with the tila beads. So I'm not finding this to be sharp in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so this is checkmate cube beads, or like a tila bead. They're just squares, and they're called checkmates. Now I'm using a Rulla bead because I really like Rulla beads, but if you don't have checkmates, you can use tila beads, the full size ones. If you don't have Rulla beads, you can use super duos, or you can use the half tilas, will work. You're just going to have to make small adjustments when it comes to using your seed beads in here on the edge. You're going to have to make adjustments in there. This is a Miyuki cranberry color bead, and it's a luster bead. It looks pretty dark in the camera. I'm using a Swarovski pearl, and this is a pink pearl that I have. It's really pretty pink. So that's what, and this is a 6mm pearl, an 11/0. You're going to need Rulla beads or Tila beads in the half Tilas or super duos. You're going to need either Tila beads or the checkmates. I prefer checkmates, but it's totally up to you guys. I'm using 3mm Czech Firepolish, and this is light medium aqua, and it's 3mm in this bracelet. And I am using a 15/0 seed bead, and we don't need much of these, okay? You don't need a whole lot of these because they're just going along the edge. And this color is azure lined crystal clear, so it kind of matches with these. All right, you're going to need Fireline, which, whoops, sorry about that. Now, I found my Fireline, so I went to get it. And you're also going to need 2 size 10 beading needles, okay? Because for this project, you definitely need 2 beading needles. You will need a cut button or whatever you want to use for a closure on the end, but I'm just using a simple cut button just to make my job easier. You're going to need a pair of scissors, and you're going to need a measuring tape. Now, just want to show you how perfectly size 8 this bracelet is. So let's lay this out here, and there you go, perfect size 8, and there's size 8 there. All right, so I am going to give you the instructions, the amount of beads that you're going to need for a size 8. All right, and if you need to make it smaller, just take off a few of these for like a 7. So if you were to take one increment off, each increment is from one ruler to the other, it's a 1/2 inch. So remember that, from one here to here is a 1/2 inch. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to string a nice big long piece of Fireline on so I don't have to add thread. This is, again, preference for you. If you don't want to use a really super long piece like I'm going to use, because I don't want to add thread and want to do my embellishing and all of that jazz all in one thread. So let me just get this out of the way now. So I'm going to go dump my beads, thread both needles, one on each end. So these are size 10 beading needles. Thread one on each side, and I will come back after I dump everything out. Okay guys, now let's get started. Now I've got both needles strung, one on each end, okay, as you can see. Now all we're going to do is pick up 3 seed beads, our 11/0s. So I'm only working with the first 3, so that's the 11/0s, the Rulla beads, and my checkmate beads. And then you're going to put a needle, one through each hole of your button like that. Okay, so you have, oops, wrong way. Put it on the right way. Don't do that. Okay. So you're going to put one in one hole and one in the other hole like that. So your button is upside down so that your seed beads sit in that. So put your needles together, bring your thread down, or bring your work down right to the middle of your thread, and your seed beads will sit in the top like that. Okay? Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to go with one needle. You're going to pick up a Rulla bead. Oops, sorry, we need 2 seed beads on each needle. So pick up 2 seed beads, like this. Oh, and I've got 3. 2 seed beads, 1 Rulla bead on one needle, and then you're going to take the other needle and put it through the second hole of your Rulla bead like that. Okay? And let it fall. Then you're going to pick up 1 seed bead on each needle. Oh, wow, pick up 2 all the time. 1 on each needle, and then you're going to pick up your tile bead. Now, my beads, as you can see, have a coating. They got a fancy coating on one side and clear on the other. I want the clear side up, so I'm going to put them all the same way, and I put that fancy coating on the bottom so that when you flip the bracelet over, you'll see the fancy coating all along the bottom, like that. See? So I'm going to keep doing it the same way. So you put your needle into one hole of your checkmate bead. You bring the other needle up through the second hole of your checkmate bead, like that. Hold them together and pull down, like that. Okay. So now I want to keep making sure I put these all on the right way. So I'm just going to separate out my needles so I keep putting my beads on the same way. Now you're going to pick up an 11/0 on each needle. One on each, like that. A Rulla bead on one needle, and the second needle you're going to put through the second hole of your Rulla bead like that. Okay, I don't want to lose side. 11/0 on each needle. I'm just trying to do it a quick way for you guys. Again, I'm going to pick up a Rulla or a checkmate bead, tile bead. One needle in one hole and a second needle in the other hole. Pick up 11/0 on each needle. A Rulla bead. And this is all you're going to do for the whole length of your bracelet. Is alternating one Rulla and one tile bead, like so. As you can see, I got all my tile beads, so when I flip it over, the shiny side will be showing, and this side will be covered. Part of it will be covered. The whole entire bead won't be covered. You'll still see it. So make sure you match it with coordinating colors. But I wanted to do this in colors that I know you guys are going to be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to put on, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 of the checkmate beads. Okay, I'm going to go off, put 15 on, and that's going to give me a size 8 bracelet, like that. Okay, and I'll be back. Okay, so I strung on my 15 checkmate beads all the way down and put my Rulla beads, and I ended with what I started with. So I started with a Rulla bead, I ended with a Rulla bead. So now what we're going to do is make the closure for the cut button, which is pretty simple, easy peasy thing to do. And it doesn't matter which needle you use. Whoops, we messed up our beads. I'm going to put 28 11/0s on my needle, so count 28. I lost count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, 21. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put this needle over here on my mat, just tuck it into the mat for now. And then you're coming out of this part of the Rulla bead. You're just going to go down into the other part of the Rulla bead. Alright, so now that I had an interruption, what I was saying is we're coming out of one side of our Rulla bead, and all we're going to do is drop down into the other hole of the Rulla bead. So we're going into the second hole. We have a needle coming out of that one already, and we're just going to drop down into the Rulla and the 11/0, and that's it. And pull. And then you've made your loop. So now you're exiting out of the 11/0, so you're going to stick that needle into the mat, pick up your other needle, and we're going to go through all these beads in the circle here. So we're exiting on the other side of the Rulla bead like we are exiting over here. So you're going to have to keep pulling your work because it's a pain in the butt, but it'll tighten up eventually. So I'm just going through all the beads. And it's reinforcing it. We will be going through everything as we go down and embellish our bracelet. So make sure you go through the Rulla and exit out of the 11-0. Oh shoot. I only put one 11-0 in there and you're supposed to pick up. Oh no, never mind. Don't listen to me. Just keep doing it. Alright, now pull this tight and this tight. And keep your bracelet pulled nice and tight. Okay? Like that. Now, as I was saying, I wanted to work from leaving the bottom exposed, so it's really pretty on the bottom, leaving the super shiny side there, and working on top of this side of the bracelet. I don't know if I should zoom up a bit more, if it's going to help you guys or what. I don't want to get too zoomed up. Alright, so now pick up one needle. It doesn't matter which side you're comfortable or which side you're working on, just as long as you're comfortable. I'm going to kind of make sure I separate my needles out here. So this one is this side and this one's this side. There. Now I'm going to move, actually get rid of these beads here because we're done with the Rullas and we're done with the tile beads. We don't need them anymore. And the Rulla bead container, because now I'm going to dump my 3mm out, because now you're just going to be working with your 11-0s and your 3mm beads. Okay, so I'm just going to pull my rulers out of here. Alright, we're good. Let me see here. I can't handle with my mat to be in a mess, so I'm going to fix it up. Alright, where are you, beads? And I'm using, I told you, light medium aqua in a 3mm. It's probably really hard to see on this mat, but alright. Now, so take any needle, because now it's time to embellish our baby here. And I work from me outward to out this way. So I'm working down my bracelet this way. Now you should be exiting, like I told you, exiting out of this 11-0 here. Okay, here. Now what you're going to do is you're going to pick up two 11-0s, a 3mm, and two 11-0s. Like that. You're exiting out of this 11-0. You're going to skip this Czech bead, your square, Tila bead, whatever you're using, and you're going to go through that 11-0 below it, the Rulla bead, and the 11-0 on the other side of the Rulla bead, like that. So you're going to go through those three beads. Okay? And just sit this on top like that. Or on the side. It doesn't really matter. But you are going to have to, every once in a while, give this a tug, your other needle, because it will loosen up on you as you're working down your bracelet. Now you're going to do the same thing. Pick up two 11-0s, a 3mm, and two 11-0s on your needle like so. Skip your square bead here and go into the 11-0, the Rulla bead, and the 11-0, and pull. Like that. Pick up two, go pick up a 3mm and pick up two more 11-0s. Skip your square checkmate and go into the 11-0, the Rulla bead, and 11 Now I'm staying all on one side right now. So I'm going to do about approximately 3 of them. And now we're going to put this needle down. Okay, so we're sticking this needle in our mat, the one I was working with to make those. We're going to pick up our other needle, which is on this side of the bracelet now. And we're going to pick up 2 11-ohs. And we're going to hold our bracelet like this in our hand and go through the fire polish only. The very first fire polish. And pull. Okay. Pick up 2 11-ohs. Like that. Now you're going to go on this side and go through the 11-oh, the Rulla bead, and the 11-oh. Like that. Don't crisscross. Stay on the same side that your thread is exiting. And give your bracelet a pull tight and pull that tight. So you should have your crystal sitting right on top of your checkmate bead like that. Okay? Pick up 2 more 11-ohs into the 3mm fire polish. Pull that. Pick up 2 more 11-ohs. Skip over that, over your checkmate, and exit through the 11-oh, the Rulla bead, and the 11-oh or Tila bead, whatever you're using, and give that a good tight pull. All right, and this is what you have so far. Let's do it again. 2 more 11-ohs, and into the fire polish. I almost picked up another fire polish, like that. 2 more 11-ohs, and exit through the 11-oh, the Rulla bead, and the 11-oh like that. And pull. So give it a good tight pull, and this is what you should have accomplished so far. So this is what it looks like on the side, and this is what it looks like on the top, like that. And this is what it looks like on the bottom. So this is what we have so far. Okay, you're going to just repeat this right till you get to the end of your bracelet, and when you get done, turn the video back on and come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I have finished putting on all my embellishment on top, my fire polish. Okay, now you have ended, well, you should have ended, after you've put your last one on, you should have ended in your cut button like this. So I'm in the 1 seed bead, I'm just working my way across, and I'm going to go back down the cut button. Alright, so I'm going to go down this way. I'm going to exit through, oops, through the 1 seed bead on the other side, down through the cut button, through the 2 seed beads, below the cut button like that. And that's all. And pull. And I'm going to just leave the other needle alone for now. Now you're going to pick up 3 11-ohs, exiting out of the seed bead, skip the Rulla bead, it's just loose. You skip the Rulla bead and go into the bead coming out of, or the bead beside the Rulla bead. So it's the original first row you did, not the 2 seed beads you put on. So skip those ones. Just go into, skip the Rulla, go into the 11-oh, the checkmate, and the 11-oh on the other side of the checkmate, but not the ones you embellished on the top. Hope you can see that. Okay, and then pull. And sit those 3 seed beads on the outside. Okay, so you'd be exiting right where your Rulla bead is on the outside of your Rulla, right there. pick up 3 11/0s. Skip the Rulla and go into the 11/0, the checkmate bead, and the 11/0 right outside of the Tila bead, or the checkmate bead. So exit like that. Hope you can see that. And pull. So you should have that. Okay, so pick up 3 more seed beads. Skip the Rulla. I'm exiting out of, no I'm not. You need to make sure you're, exiting out of the 11/0 right beside the Rulla bead. I was only exiting out of the Tila bead. There we go. Okay, and one more time on this side, and then I'm gonna flip my needle and work with the other needle. Skip the Rulla, go into the seed bead beside it, into the check bead, and into the 11/0 like that. Okay, and pull. Now I'm going to kind of flip my work around, sit my needle on this side, pick up this one, and now we're just going to work our way across the cut button the same way we did with the other needle, by going through the center 11/0 and drop down to that bead, through the cup, and through those 2 at the bottom like that. Okay, I hope you can see that. And then pull. Now pick up 3 11/0s. Skip the Rulla and enter into the 11/0 below the Rulla there. Okay, and through the check bead and through the 11/0. I like to do it all in one pass. So all 3 of those beads. And pull. And now you have that. Pick up 3 beads, skip the Rulla into the 11/0. The checkmate and the 11/0. There. Like that. And then I'm going to show you one more time, and then I'm going to go off camera and finish doing this embellishment. You really don't need me to show you all the way through. So skipping the Rulla and going into the 11, the checkmate, and the 11. Like that. And pull. So I usually like to do, 2 or 3 passes on each side. Just, I don't like to work it all the way in one side. So get that done, and when you're finished, come back. I'll show you what you do next. You are going to go through your loop here again, so that's definitely going to reinforce it some more, like that, and it fits perfectly, and it gets a little bit tighter when you go through it again. So go finish your embellishment and come back, and I'll show you what to do next, hopefully. Okay guys, so I'm at the end here, and I am just bringing my thread, whoopsies, I see a mistake. It wouldn't be me without making one, right guys? I see a huge mistake, and I'm probably going to have to pull my needle out, because that's not going to go through, right? Oh, maybe it will. But I forgot to put 3 here. I don't know why I don't check these things out before I turn this camera back on. Let me see. There we go. But anyway, you get the gist of what I just did. Alright, so let's put 3 in here. So if you ended with a Rulla bead, make sure you put 3 in this one too. Alright, so now we are going to go right through with our needle through the entire ring. Like this. Oh, okay. And I've already started on the other side. So I'm just working with one needle right now. Going through. So when you get through going through your circle, just exit at the bottom of your 28 beads here that you put on. Okay, and then finish doing out your loop with your other needle and exit right at the bottom of the 28 beads we put on. Alright, one more here. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to do the embellishment, but look at how pretty this is just like this. If you wanted to leave it just skinny like that, go ahead. It's again preference, what you guys like. I'm going to dump my pearls, and I'm using a Swarovski pearl. I'm really starting to like Swarovski pearls much better than the cheapy pearls, just because they have such a nice hole in them, and you really don't have to worry about stuff being stuck in them and, you know, yucky stuff. So I'm going to dump my pearls. I've got my 11-ohs because you're going to still need 11-ohs, and I'm also going to dump some 15s. Oopsies. You don't need a lot of 15s. These are just going to be used for a spacer bead. Again, if you want to leave your bracelet like that, by all means, it's your choice. It is really pretty like that too. But again, I prefer to put the pearls in it. So you've exited out of the bottom of your 28. You're just going to step up into the first 2 beads of that group of 3, like that. And let's not snag. Shoot. Why don't I get the right needle? That needle's on this side. Thought I had the right one, but I guess I didn't. Alright. Now we've got the right needle. So you're going to step up into the first 2 of the 3. Okay. Now you're going to pick up a 15, an 11, a pearl, an 11, and a 15. So this is what you should have on your needle. Okay, a 15, 11, pearl, and these are 6mm pearls. You can even try a smaller pearl. Now you're going to skip all of this and into the next group of 3, which is the last thing we did here. You're going to go into the middle bead of that group of 3 in the next one. And you're just going to place your pearl there like that. Okay, and a 15, 11, a pearl, 11, and a 15. Like that. Skip all this, go into the next group of 3, into the middle bead of the group of 3. And pull. And you can kind of see your little hint of the blue in there. I think it just looks really, really pretty like that. So 15, 11, pearl, 11, and a 15. And into the next group. Alright, now I'm going to, I done 3, so I'm just going to trade needles. So I'm going to grab this one and I'm going to do 3 on this one. And I'll do a little more because I'm not just going to switch back and forth here. So let me do a bit on the other side. So take your needle, go into the middle bead of that group of 3. Whoops. I saw that go around. Pick up a 15, 11, a pearl, 11, and a 15. Jump across and go into the third middle of the 3 beads, not the third one, and pull. 15, 11, pearl, 11, and 15. And into the middle of the 3. A 15, 11, pearl. Actually, I'm sorry, these are not Swarovskis. These are Czech. I do have my Czech and my Swarovskis together. Alright, and into the next one. A Swarovski bead doesn't have this gunk on the outside like this. You see? Their holes are all smooth and open, so they don't have gunk in them. Anyway, that is what your bracelet is going to look like adding in your embellishment on the side. Is that not pretty? I think this looks really gorgeous. I love the colors, the pink and the light. It's a light bluish. It's not quite turquoise. It is an aqua color. It is really pretty. And so are these. These are an aqua color too. Azure line. Pretty. So that's it, guys. I'm going to go finish doing this embellishment. And I'm going to come back, show you how to tie it off. And that's the end of our bracelet for today. Pretty, eh? Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so we've reached the end now. And I just finished doing my last side here. So again, I'm just going to go through the cut button beads, following my thread path and catching that first button or bead that's on inside the cut button there. So I'm just going up, trying to catch that bead. Oh, it's going to be nasty to try and catch it without it in that first pass because it's really hard to get your needle in there. Come on, be nice. Get in there. Don't want to be nice to me. There we go. Got it. Okay, so I'm just going to go through all 3 of these beads, of course. So there's the middle one and going back down. And pull this tight because it came loose. I'm just working my way down. And I'm just going to go into a few beads here. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one, just because it's loosening up on me, and as I tie it off, I don't want it to, this side to come loose where I'm tying it. So that way we can give it a good tight pull. So the beads are down in there. And I like to put my knots inside the hole of the pearl. So I'm going to wrap once and twice for the first knot. Pull it snug. like that, and into the pearl. And then I'm just going to go through all these beads here on the top to get to the next pearl. And another half hitch knot. Make a big loop like that. Whoops. So just go in before you pull all your thread. Make sure you have a little loop. Put your needle in there and don't make the loop too big because it'll just knot. And then go through your beads again. And I like to tie extra knots. So I used probably 2 yards of Fireline all in one shot. And you know, when you're working with 2 needles too, it becomes much shorter. So it doesn't tangle or knot on you because you're working from the middle of your Fireline. And then you got a wee bit folded over on your needle at the end. I don't leave a lot unfolded. As you can see, I only have a little piece. And I'm telling you right now, that prevents tangling. I never ever tangle my Fireline, ever anymore. I haven't for a long time. Because I keep my threads extremely short. My tails on my needle, extremely short. And I'm telling you, it works. Alright, so let's tie one more knot. There we go. And I'm just going to run through some beads now. I'll go through this one. Oopsies. And through here. And I'm just going to weave my needle and cut this one off. So this one is done. Cut it nice and close. So I really didn't waste much Fireline on this one either. Alright, so we are at the pearl. So I'm going to just weave my needle through across all these beads so I can tie my first half hitch knot. So I'm going to tie a surgeon's knot, but I'm going to keep the hole extremely small. So there's one loop or one wrap around it, and 2, and pull it tight. There we go. And bring that knot inside your pearl, hide it inside the pearl. Pull it a little tight there. Just give a little tug on that and the knot pulls inside. So let's tie another half hitch knot and into the pearl. One more. There. Oh, I see a thread here for something. Why do I see this thread? Ah. Not too sure, so I'm just going to back up because it skipped. There we go. This is a really pretty bracelet. These colors are gorgeous. Alright, one more knot and we're good. And then we're going to run through a few beads. And we're going to end it right here. So I'm going to go this way and up through there. There we go. Needle off and trim it. And there you have a nameless bracelet. Or is this not just gorgeous? Now, these turned out really, really pretty. Whoops, my camera's moving. Let's zoom out here. So there's the pink one. Wow, I love this one. With the blue, just a hint of really light aqua. And this opal cut button is pretty too. And there we have it, our two bracelets that you could intertwine together like that. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and you have fun making these. They are really pretty. You'll probably make lots and lots and lots, and you'll be able to switch it up. In here you can't really see the Rulla beads, but in here you can see the pink ones. So they look really stunning. And again, there's the back, nice and smooth and super shiny. And the side and the front. And there's a size 8 bracelet. So I will, in the description box, I always list what you guys need. So if I forget something, somebody always reminds me that something's missing out of there, and I'll go fix it right away. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys had a good week, and I'll see you guys soon on the next video. Bye, everyone.